Hi, welcome. Thank you for entering this nighttime yin practice. This practice is inspired by my close friend Alina, who has been finding it hard to fall asleep. It is for setting us slowly into a sleep ready state and for touching in with ourselves as beings in need of care. These are troubling times, anxious times for many, and it's my hope that you can take away from this session something to replicate, whether you are home, traveling, camping, in between places, or even unhoused and needing support. I want my yin practices to be accessible, so I'm presenting this practice as will be most useful to the majority of you, which is in bed. But you can feel free to practice on the floor if you prefer as well. I will be using bed pillows and blankets for props. You can also use yoga bolsters if you have them. If you have a hot water bottle or an eye mask, those are really nice here as well. If you have nothing, not even pillows or blankets, that's okay. You'll just want to put your body in a pose in a way that you can hold comfortably for a long time, and as always, come out of the pose whenever you need. This applies to everyone. We'll be doing 3 poses. How it will work is I will walk us into the pose, count us out and through transitions, and then leave the majority of the pose for you to be with yourself in the quiet. So, our first pose will be legs up the wall. This pose will help us to drain lymphatic fluid from the legs, lengthen our hamstrings and back, and provide relief for fatigue, jet lag, or menstrual cramps. You will need 1 to 2 bolsters or 1 to 2 pillows. We'll place them vertically, leaning on the wall, and then come to close with our hip touching before moving our legs up and over. Once we have our backs on the floor, we can shuffle forward if needed. The goal here is to have most of our leg touching the prop so that we are fully resting into it and able to be in this kind of inverted pose without exerting much work. If you have a hot water bottle, placing it on the lower abdomen, pelvis, or thighs, perhaps covering up with a blanket or using an eye mask if you have one nearby. I find rolling my head on the floor here can feel really relaxing. Something about having the physical contact with the skull is really calming and helps to interrupt mental noise. So, if you like bringing your hands behind the head and gently rolling your head, you can press a little with your fingers as your head makes contact. Perhaps focusing on the index finger and thumb, moving them to touch the part of the head where it connects with the top of the neck. This is the occipital ridge, and it can be a common place of tension. So, rolling the head, pressing gently with your hands there, just noticing what happens when you focus on your head as it's making contact with floor, with the bed, or with your fingers. Noticing if this feels pleasant or calming to you. When you're ready, reaching arms out long or bending elbows and placing hands on your body, perhaps both hands on your belly, maybe one hand on your heart. We're going to take an inhale here. So, inhaling, letting it go from the mouth. As you breathe, focusing on your back in contact with the floor, the backs of the legs in contact with the pillows or the wall. We are letting the exhales move us into softening. So notice if you are holding your feet, maybe twitching the toes before letting your feet feel free to just be soft ankles. Noticing if you are using your thighs to hold your legs up, if you are clenching the knee at all, letting them melt into the prop instead. There is no need here to hold our lower body. Can you breathe into your back legs and let them feel heavy? Moving onto the back body, noticing our bum, our hips, our lower back, our middle back, our upper back, feeling ourselves flat on the bed or on the floor. Notice how we're not pressing into the earth consciously with the work of our muscles, but we can still feel ourselves press into the earth from a place of heavy limbs. Our breath taking us lower and lower. Can you observe how your front body lightens up as your back receives the breath and is held? Now witnessing the neck, the head, letting our ears lengthen from our back, making whatever tiny movements can find ease and opening. Maybe it's in the neck, maybe it's in the cheeks, the eyebrows. Noticing where we're clenching and letting it go by breathing into it. We'll be here for a little while longer, breathing into our back body to find lightness. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to come out of the pose. You can bring knees closer to chest, twist to come up into a fetal position, and with calm, pressing into our hands to bring ourselves back up and facing the props. We're going to move into a child's pose now. You can move the bolsters or pillows to be lying in front of you vertically or on the floor bed this time. We'll come to kneel in front of the props, touching close as possible, perhaps bringing the top pillow in even closer so we can comfortably lie our whole front on top of it. When you're ready, walking hands forward until torso is fully on the prop. The wider your knees here, the easier it will feel, but you may need to experiment with your body. You want a position you can comfortably hold for a long time. So you can place a pillow behind the knees if you'd like more of a cushion, or find the fold challenging for your legs. Looking to the left, and I will indicate when it's the halfway time to turn the other cheek. In this pose, we are quieting the mind by internalizing and centering our body inward. We're lowering our sympathetic nervous system, soothing the abdomen, expanding the kidneys, and resting our shoulders. Wondering what came up for you when I mentioned those things. Do you feel like your belly is soft? Do you feel like your back is long? Do your shoulders feel a little bit lighter? Let's focus here on breathing into our front body this time. Taking an inhale, feeling our belly and chest expand into the prop. Exhaling, feeling ourselves become a tiny bit lighter in the back body. Inhale, feeling our breath fill up our back. Exhaling, feeling ourselves become heavier in our front body. We're around halfway through. If you haven't already, maybe turning to the opposite cheek to even out the pose. Okay, let's wake ourselves out of this pose. So, pressing into our palms, bringing our torso up off the props, maybe pausing for a moment. I want to offer the option to take yourself to bed here. Our final pose will be in Shavasana, corpse pose, but as it is really similar to lying down in sleep, it can be nice to do under your covers. You can take some time to transition here as you like, perhaps stretching out your limbs, moving them a little, bringing in just enough life to make our transition into the next pose. For this, I'm going to place the pillows back as if I'm going to bed, but I will place two of them to be underneath my knees when I'm lying down. This will help with the lower back and feels nice for the legs. Perhaps replicating that, perhaps lying down flat, perhaps moving as if going to sleep. This lying, however, is comfortable for you. We're going to cover up here with a blanket, maybe an eye mask if you have one, closing our eyes. Just allowing ourselves to have 10 minutes here. Or if we're practicing as a way to fall asleep, maybe muting here and allowing ourselves to drift. So we've been in Shavasana for about 10 minutes now. When you're ready, coming out of the pose however you'd like, maybe slipping under the covers and continuing to sleep, or do whatever it is that you would like to do. Thank you for practicing with me. I would love to share rest with you again.